I feel like this is super close. Sorry, I'm laying on my bed and like literally doing this video at like 9 o'clock at night or like 8 something at night on Thursday. I didn't do my video last week. I completely forgot. I have like so many different things going on right now. That this is what happens, I guess. So this week we are talking about suicide. I feel like this is so close to my face. And I'm laying down on my stomach right now. This week we're talking about suicide, and I want to say I have a lot to say, but I don't know if it'll all come out, but here goes. Oh, this is my "Without Struggle There Is No Progress" t-shirt. I feel like I need to make some more t-shirts of "Without Struggle There Is No Progress," W.E.B. Du Bois. I think that a lot of people need to realize that things are going to be hard, but it's usually worth the effort. I think a lot of people don't really particularly want to put in effort for things, but they want to see results right away. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, this week we're talking about suicide, and I think that if you watch any of my other videos, my earlier videos, maybe like one or two of my first videos, I talked about this. But as far as suicide goes, I know I have 2 family members who committed suicide, and I know like one other girl of like from like seeing her around that committed suicide. In case you guys didn't know, my grandfather was actually diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I actually didn't even know this until he passed. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he like had an episode, and he was like in the hospital, and he was supposed to be having like one-on-one like attention, and he was not supposed to be left alone, and somebody left him alone, and when they left him alone, he hung himself. And then, cause he, like, it was crazy, like, he used to hear voices and everything. Apparently, African-American men, like, they have a higher, I don't know if they're, like, a higher rate, or, there's more, it's more common, maybe that's the terms I'm looking for. It's more common African-American men. And then, my uncle, he committed suicide. His was more, in my idea, depression, or that he felt like it was his fault that my grandfather passed. The way that he did, I think he thought that there was something that he could have done, more that he could have done. So I think those are like 2 completely different suicides in my mind. Like, one of them is like he had like a mental illness, and I don't know if I guess maybe he just wasn't medicated, or he hadn't gotten to that stage yet. I don't really know with my grandfather. And then my uncle, he was depressed. And I know that he like drank a lot. So that's that. And then I like know of this girl who she was like, these 2 girls were party promoters, and she was like their close friend, and she actually committed suicide. I feel like it's like 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, probably like 3 years ago. I didn't know her personally, but she was really cool. She seemed like a really nice person. She always had like a lot of energy. But yeah, so if I'm missing anybody else, I don't think I know very many people who have committed suicide. I know that, hold on one second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't even know what I was just saying. But, yeah. Oh, I think I was about to say, I do have another family member who experienced a lot of death. And and also being related to my grandfather who committed suicide, and also my uncle, both male figures in their life, went through a lot of a very emotional time and was put on medication, and that medication really wasn't working. I can't remember if they were going to a therapist or a psychiatrist or something. And then, oh, sorry, my hair was like in a ponytail. I just took it down. And basically realized this felt like the medicine wasn't working for them, and went and talked to somebody, another family member, and like ended up getting admitted. Yeah, that was a really scary time for me. Because I found out that that person was admitted to the same hospital that my grandfather was admitted to, and where my grandfather died. That was really crazy. But I had a lot of friends that were there for me at that time. I have personally never thought about committing suicide or anything like that. Like, I have my times when I like get depressed about things. I feel like everyone does. And I know that I'm an overanalyzer. I overanalyze like everything. And when I think about like my grandfather, when I think about my uncle, and think about people that have passed, like I get depressed. But yeah, I think that one of the biggest things is to get help. I know that the family member that went to another family member and got help, I'm so happy that they did. Because there's a possibility, and this person said like they contemplated like committing suicide. Had they not said anything to anybody, nobody probably would have even realized that that was coming. So I just think that it's really important, if you feel like you're going to do something like that, that you tell someone or talk to someone about it. And in a lot of communities, it's looked down upon to go talk to a therapist or a psychiatrist or whatever. But I just feel like you gotta do what you gotta do to make yourself a better you. Something that I'm learning more about, like something that I don't say learning more about, something that I'm noticing more so now than ever. I don't know if it's like the 30 thing, and that's what I'm learning. I just feel like you got to do what's good for yourself. You can't worry about what other people think. I feel like positive energy and having positive people around you will keep you more positive. And seeking help. One of the things that I really want to do, because I just feel like it's time for me to be great, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I'm at a point where it's just time for me to make moves and start being the person I'm meant to be, as far as like just like career-wise and making money and health-wise and starting a family and stuff like that. It's just like, you got to invest in yourself. So if you feel like you're sad or depressed, or you feel like you need to talk to somebody, you should talk to somebody. If you feel suicidal, you should talk to somebody. There are hotlines that you can call. I'm sure that there's people around you that would be very concerned if they knew that that's how you felt. Like, if you're somebody that ever thought about committing suicide. It's weird because I feel like a lot of times I don't want to say a lot of times, I feel like keeping everything in, and sometimes I feel like people think that people should realize what's going on in their head. Nobody's their mind reader. If you're going through something, nobody else is really going to know. They're going to know what you tell them, but they can't tell what's really going on in your head unless you tell them. So I say seek therapy. I am definitely not someone would say go get some meds. And I more so say that because I just feel like the world is going in a direction where they just want to medicate you, but they don't want to explain to you what's going on or try to help you find alternative ways of getting better. one of the things I think about is just getting help. Now, when it comes to my grandfather and like schizophrenia, I think that you need some medication. But if you're like dealing with depression, I think that like talking about it, maybe going to support groups, you know, just having people to talk to. If you don't want to go to a therapist, talk to a friend. Join groups. There's a lot of like groups out there, online and not online. Freaking Craigslist is the best because you can meet people that are like, there's different groups. I don't know if people look on Craigslist, but there's groups that meet up about everything you could think of. Like, they're out there. Support groups, you know, groups of people who just want to meet up and make new friends and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's ways, like, if you're depressed because you feel like you don't have any friends, you can go to groups like that. Meetup is a great place to meet people. I've met people on Meetup. I'm weird, though. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, I guess I just go with, you got to tell people what's going on. You got to be verbal about it. Seeing somebody, I think, is the best thing that you could possibly do. Now, and I think that a lot of people get it twisted that, like, if you go to someone, that's the person that you have to go to and you can't go elsewhere. I feel like it's very important, like an interview. You can go to a therapist. If that therapist is not the person that you think is meant for you, okay, time to leave that therapist and go to another one. I feel like a lot of people get caught up in that. Not a lot of people. I feel like some people get caught up in that and thinking, like, okay, this is the therapist I'm going to. And I know people who have gone to therapists, and therapists have told them that they're horrible people, and that's just because their views on life are different, i.e. people who were gay and going to therapists telling them that they shouldn't be gay and they're wrong. That's not a therapist that you need to be with. So yeah, I'm going on complete and utter tangent. So yeah, I don't even really know what I said about in this video. If you made it to this point, kudos to you. I'm not even gonna like record another one. Like, this is just how I feel. It's real. My mind is everywhere. Yeah, so talk to people. Talk about it. My thing is, I just think, like, if you commit suicide, right? There's no coming back from that shit. And people will be sad. And there's no coming back from that shit. Like, what's happening to you in that moment, or what has happened to you in other moments, are just moments in your lives. Like, lives. Like, think of that. Like, I'm 30 years old. I'm sure that there's been some times I've just been really fucked up. And if I had decided to kill myself, like, what about all the other years after that? You know what I mean? Like, if I ended my life today, right, because I was depressed or upset, okay, whatever. Who's to say in 5 years my life is not going to be 110% different? You know, I feel like that's a big decision. You can't change that, and you can't come back from that. And then just to see some different documentaries and things of people, like, committing suicide and it not working, like, fucking up their lives. I don't know. I'm going on a complete tangent. I just think that it would be amazing for my uncle to be here today. I think that it would be awesome. I think that he missed out on a lot of things. I'm getting to the point where I'm about to cry, but I feel like he missed out on a lot. And I feel like I just wish he would have talked to somebody, because there's a possibility that he could be here today and experiencing my nephew right now. He could be here today to see what my brothers and sisters and myself have come to be. He would be a great role model for my sons and my daughters, future sons and daughters. Yeah, so I just say, talk to someone. I feel like, too, like, I don't know. It's a permanent, you're doing something permanent for something that you feel temporarily. There's no coming back from that, man. It was actually my uncle's birthday a couple days ago. It's actually, it was last week. Last Tuesday. Like, what? He had a whole life to live. He could have had a wife and kids. Yeah. Anyway, this is a very long video. And I'm like out of it a little bit. But I just say talk to someone. I could say pray about it. I've heard people say that, and that makes me mad when people say pray about it. But if somebody's not a believer, then how can you tell them to pray about it? I think it's very important to talk to someone. And I also, if you feel like you're getting medication and you don't feel like it's something that you should take, go see somebody else before you take that medication. Yeah, it's my long-ass video. Now I feel like I'm gonna be like depressed for the rest of the night. I miss my uncle. I miss my grandfather. Alright, I'm done.